State House for you. The Religious Freedom Act is sparking renewed controversy among some of the earliest supporters of the law. Members of the Indiana Pastors Alliance say they're outraged by changes made to the law, and they are taking their opinions straight to the governor and lawmakers. RTV 6 State House reporter Katie Hines is in our newsroom with more details on this story. Katie?
Todd, the revised law includes sexual orientation and gender identity as part of the language stating the Religious Freedom Act can't be used to discriminate. The nearly 150 people who held a protest at the State House today argue that Republican legislative leaders cowardly surrendered to the LGBT community.
You failed us, and in doing so, you betrayed the trust of millions of Hoosiers who elected you to protect the liberties that we hold so dear.
More than 100 people are making their voices heard on the main floor of the State House. One is Daniel Brooks from Georgetown.
People consider it a betrayal because they're scared of the repercussions that could come to Indiana residents who attempt to live out their faith, especially in the business realm.
The Indiana Pastors Alliance accuses legislative leaders of opening a door to oppression. They argue business owners who refuse to participate in homosexual weddings are not extended tolerance.
The LGBT community is anything but tolerant. They are not content to practice tolerance, demanding instead that people of faith celebrate a lifestyle which is expressly forbidden by God and in the Scriptures.
The protest is in conjunction with an open letter of rebuke sent to Governor Mike Pence and members of the General Assembly. We talked to Republican legislative leaders about the arguments last week.
That's probably one of the most ignorant statements I've heard in a long time. There's no way that RFRA fix did anything to harm religious liberty in this state.
House Speaker Brian Bosma argues changes to the law were necessary to avert an economic crisis.
The livelihoods of more than 100,000 families in Indiana that are involved in sports, tourism, and convention work. Many, not the CEOs, I'm talking about the folks that are working in the industry, relied on a resolution.
Neither of the Republican leaders expressed any interest in revisiting the issue in the short term. The protest comes during the final 3 days of the legislative session. Katie Hines, RTV 6.